Hello everyone, my name is Sawyer, and I'm going to be talking about the unknown fossil I was assigned this semester, which is a fossilized wood specimen with extra fossils throughout known as Martesia. So this is the fossil you can see here on the left. It's fossilized wood where you can see some of the bark on it, as well as these circles throughout it, which are Martesia. Now what are Martesia? Martesia are more commonly known as shipworms. So in the past, when we had ships with wooden hulls, you can actually see in this image here a lot of holes throughout the bottom of the ship. And this was common because shipworms would actually start to eat the wood in the ships and cause a lot of problems for the merchants traveling to and from other countries. But what's surprising is that these shipworms aren't worms at all, but they're actually a mollusk called bivalve. And bivalve just means that they have a two-valve system through their actual organism. So for example, they're going to be related to animals such as clams. So as you can see in this diagram here, much like a clam, it does have a two-siphon system where water can go into the organism and be pumped back out. But what's really interesting about this fossil is they actually eat wood. If you see right down here, there's a large organ down at the bottom called the cecum. This actually had bacteria in it, where when the organism ate through the wood, that bacteria would actually help digest the wood so that the organism could survive. But the reason this fossil is actually very important, it does tell us a lot about the environmental conditions. This fossil was deposited in a formation known as the Fox Hill Formation throughout South Dakota. Now, in order for this organism to survive, it had to be in an environment with high salinity with lots of salt in the water, which is why it is usually found in oceans. But since it's deposited in the middle of South Dakota, where we don't have an ocean nearby, this tells us a lot about the history of the Western Interior Seaway. Now, the Western Interior Seaway did at one point cut directly through and covered most, if not all, of South Dakota, you can see right here. Now, what's very interesting about the Western Interior Seaway is it did have sea creatures ranging from the south all the way up to the north, since it cut directly through the middle of the United States. These Martesia give us a glimpse of what happened there too, since it also would have been deposited sometime after that seaway started to recede back down. And since the area that we talked about, the Fox Hill Formation, is during the Cretaceous period, this helps give us a timestamp on when that would have started seceding in order to deposit these fossils. So what's the most interesting about this fossil is it does give us more of a timestamp of exactly how and why it would have been deposited, which will also give us more of the geologic history of South Dakota as a whole. I just want to take the chance to thank you all for listening to my presentation, and have a great day.